What's going on? What's going on, everyone?
Hey, Tubes.
How are we doing this week? We all good?
White Tubes. Yeah, we're doing good.
Great, man. Great to be back, and great to have more exciting things, right? We get dropped some very exciting news kind of midweek that kind of landed on our laps. So before we even
Come
dive into that,
back.
definitely we got a batch of news. So batch of news for you guys today. So it's one of those like what do they say, like audience applause and audience cheer. Yeah, we need that little light on the screen. But before we
Not-
dive into that,
We don't need them guffawing at us. We don't want to guffaw. We want
Hey, that was pretty funny, I mean, the crowd loved it.
Hey
Apparently.
guys, this is a serious Star Wars podcast. We're not one of
Got
those
it.
silly ones. We're not going to be silly.
we can't
on
have
this
fun.
show.
Why would you do that?
We're not nerds or anything. We don't have like kyber crystals around our neck. I mean, come on.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna lie, bro. That's pretty crazy. That he's rocking around a cavern on his neck.
You rocking a kyber crystal.
Because
I
you never
love
know.
have to do that. Oh man,
It's
Yeah.
weird. It's a
Wait,
weird Mobius strip with Star Wars fandom where you get back to crystals are like crystals make things better, right? You start
Yeah.
from science, you get all the way back to crystals make the world go round.
Wait till I
Me and
pull out
Sam-
my Plastium canister.
Me and Sam's have already bled red, so my kyber crystal's really no good.
Oh.
Coaxium. So fuel, huh? Fuel in Star Wars. That's an interesting. Anyway, let's.
And it's a
But
talking
yeah.
point. So
let's not
Definitely,
stop.
but yeah,
start.
before we
we're off on a tangent here.
before we really get off into the show, let's do some housekeeping and let DP let you guys know where to find us at.
Nerdcyclopedia.com, people, your favorite website. We'll be stepping back into the fan fiction thing at some point. So I know you guys been liking the stuff that we've been doing. We've been seeing like the stats and all that stuff. You guys like the fanfic. You guys like the new stories and stuff. So we're here to bring it to you. Nerdcyclopedia.com. Make sure you visit that site. Get all your social media at Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and also on TikTok at Nerdcyclopedia. If you're listening to us on podcast, we are on iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, anywhere that you listen to your favorite podcast. Guess what? We're there. If you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button and also hit that notification button. So anytime that we're on, you know that we're on. Thank you for watching us. If you're watching us on Facebook, thank you as well. And now we're actually on Instagram Live. So you're watching us on there. Make sure you follow us. I mean,
wow.
we're on all the social media,
We
the
are
good
everywhere.
stuff and everything. Make sure that you're hitting the subscribe button, sharing the stuff, doing all that good stuff. And last but not least, make sure you send us an email at nerdsandnerdcyclopedia.com. We love getting all your feedback and giving it right back to you.
Good stuff. And as we start today's episode, we're gonna do a little. Obviously, we have a bonus addition to today's episode. If you guys haven't been aware, which I'm sure you are, Disney kind of midweek launched the trailer for Bad Batch Season 3, which is known as Bad Batch: The Final Season. So, as we load this up, without further ado, we're going to go ahead and do a live trailer reaction for those who haven't seen it, and then kind of do our thoughts leading into Resistance Season 2, Part 1. So let's let this guys roll, and we'll do our reaction live for you guys.
All right.
Hold on! We've got troopers up top. We're running out of road!
Not exactly a stealth exit, boys.
Let's move! I thought that the end of the war would mean an end to losing more of our brothers. But I was wrong. We can't just walk away. Not with the Empire imprisoning the kid. Secure her in a cell. Omega's been waiting for us a long time. Our mission is not over yet.
There is nothing of greater importance to secure the future of this empire. Whatever is needed to accomplish this goal, you will have it.
They are coming. For all of you. Give us a real challenge. Everyone down! We're not big on following orders.
I wasn't planning on killing you, but you're making it very tempting.
Oh my, 3 episodes,
Yep.
huh?
Yep.
Okay.
Sign me up. Sign me
Oh,
up.
yeah, I'm in.
For sure.
Man.
Oh, it gives me chills.
Yep.
Seeing that Clone Wars animation style, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
It's thick.
I'm actually excited for this.
thick.
Yeah, this is
The
something.
characters are good. Yeah.
Do you think?
Yeah,
you
lot
think
of
we'll get some filler episodes like when Tech was a racing champion, like when he was a race car driver? Obviously, not that particular. That particular thing won't happen.
I hope.
Yeah.
I hope for this season that this is, this trailer really is going to lead to a lot of action. Because we've discussed it, right? They really have a lot to close off. We have to go through the whole cloning thing. Obviously, the Kaminoan, the cloning, whatever it was, she's the queen or whatever, really the architect of it. She's still alive. There's a lot to close off, and I haven't looked into it. I don't know the episode count yet. But
15.
in my eyes, 15.
Mhm.
I don't know if there's enough necessarily time. If it's 15, I'm sure 2 will probably be filler then. I'm just, I'm going to be fair and say there are probably 2.
We're gonna go hunt stingrays for a whole episode.
No. Every episode is going to be thick. I think this is back. So we're watching this Resistance, and we're seeing like the First Order, and they're kind of clumsy. They don't really have it together yet. I like to have my Empire back. I like to have that evil. That doom, because like he said, whatever you need, you will have it. What does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Are we going to see zombie stormtroopers? Like, are we going to see
that's not this era?
Yeah, that's.
Oh, I'm just saying. What does that mean? What is it? They already have everything. They have everything. So what more could he possibly put on the table?
He's probably talking about resources. I'm thinking as far as because typically when they do these like missions or whatever, they probably they're a lot more spread thin. But if they need Star Destroyers, dreadnoughts, whatever, I think that's what he's basically alluding to. That whatever they need to get rid of the threat.
He's gonna he's gonna make them appear out of the ether. Like, what's he gonna do? He meant something behind that. The Emperor just doesn't say something like that, and he can't back it up. So, what's he got up his cloak?
And this is Palpatine on his W streak too. This isn't later Palpatine where he's slipping and Darth Vader's getting the drop on him. You know what I mean? And he's not able to really. People are starting to rebel because he's tightening. He has to tighten his grip because he's not as popular. This is Palpatine at the height of his power when most people were just like, "Hey, the Empire, cool." It's not endless civil war where robots are shooting clones and nobody that was here at the beginning of war is really suffering all that much. So we don't really think about it. Everything's totally great. Things are better now. The war's over, and so Palpatine, is just beginning to marshal the resources of the Empire, which taking all those resources to build these super weapons it can be argued is ultimately what spurred the rebellion and made them popular and brought him down. If he had never done that, it's very popular that he would have continued to be a successful ruler for a long time, but he embarked on this wild genocidal side project.
Wild genocidal side project, yeah. He got a little greedy. What people with power tend to do. They just keep grabbing, wanting, and eventually it's something pushes back. You know, I mean, people who have a want for power, they want so much and they can't get enough. So that's
and when they start to get some, they like it. They like it, and they like that feeling, and they want more.
Yeah, they keep wanting more. You know, they get put out one place, and then try to.
What's Palpatine's motive anyway? I mean, he already has pretty much everything he could possibly want. He's
using the dark side, so he can foresee that he can only see so far in the future, right?
So does he see something? Does he see his demise, and that's why he's like extra evil?
Maybe he can only see into his next death, and that's the issue. He just has to get there, and then he can see the rest and start plotting. But while he's trapped in his body, he can't access the full nature of the Force. He needs what he needed. Maybe this is just a Star Wars conspiracy theory, but what he needed was for Darth Vader to kill him so that his spirit could go inhabit the clones and be immortal. And until he died physically, he could not go and perform that task. So that is how he returned somehow.
It's not necessarily far-fetched, though, right? I mean, he said strike me down, right? I mean, think about it. Maybe this was like the grand plan all along.
Maybe he saw it was going to be a Skywalker or something like that. I don't know. I think they could throw some crap in there and make that neat, I guess. But it's awesome to see if you're going to have a villain in a season of a cartoon on Star Wars. It is always awesome when it's just Palpatine. No minor leagues, no mini bosses here. It's just you're up against Palpatine. That you're on the main stage when the Emperor's
good luck. Good luck.
And good luck, right? Especially now. This would be like talking about Bill Belichick like 5 years ago. Just a constant stream of W's forever.
That's a good analogous there, right? Because I mean, Belichick is like a Palpatine in a way, right?
And what does that make Tom Brady?
I'm sure New England just like rolled up its sleeves, man. We're not getting any listeners out there now. Good job.
I think I'm very transparent about where my sports loyalties lie. I think
apparently
that's something we do here on this show.
And it's interesting you're wearing a pirate hat, and pirates actually have quite a little bit to do with our actual review that we're going to do today on Star Wars Resistance. So I like that you did that, Steel City. You really brought that in.
Hey, it's coordination, that's why I get paid the big bucks to run the board.
There we go.
What about the big reveal though that Star Wars is starting to retcon characters? And I know DP hates that word, but we just seen them retcon a character in front of our eyes.
Somehow she returned.
Yeah, somehow Asajj Ventress is alive now.
Yeah, so just refresh my memory. When was the last time we seen Asajj Ventress?
Dead on Dathomir.
Dead on Dathomir. What was that? What
Clone
was that
Wars?
in Clone Wars?
Yeah, it was the Clone Wars, but
yeah,
but she was mentioned throughout.
Somehow
the story.
she came back.
Yeah, of course she came back.
Of course, right? Okay, all right. Yeah, Star Wars. So
you guys, come on.
Duke and Force.
Yeah,
but she was younger. In this trailer we just saw, she was
also bald. Now she has a whole head of hair and
yeah.
Well, the dark side will do that to you.
Does Ventress have the same flop overcut that the older Omega seems to have when in that cockpit shot? It's a very similar haircut. Yeah. They probably maybe that's how they meet. Maybe that'll be like in the 4th or 5th episode. Omega will be like, "I need a new haircut," and Ventress will just be in there.
What?
Yeah, they're both in the same sports clips. They're doing the towel thing.
Done by drones, of course. Yeah, some bunch of R2 units or something will be clipping them up.
That could be a whole episode. There you go. There's one of the films.
There it is. There it is. Yeah.
Bang.
A side quest on how to get a haircut.
And then we'll be probably returning eggs to something that missing them for some reason.
Yeah.
And then again killing it for food, which is the thing I come to Star Wars for.
I'm waiting for the big double cross. Her sister, they showed her a lot in that trailer, so which is even weirder that her half sister, whatever, she's still like the smoking gun in my eyes. That's another Chekhov's weapon, you know, Omega's sister. Like she's like weirdly like sinister, but not really. So excited to see that.
It's I think it's good that that we're at the point where Omega is not such of a I'm not going to really if it's using a term called bratty, she was the nice, kid, the thing that sort of tethered like the kids to like this show in particular and everything. Now she's kidnapped and they're in more of a mature type of story language instead. So put it this way, watching Resistance, me and hold on for a second. Yeah, me and T Mitch talked off air about how you can have one side of the story for kids, and then the other story, side of the story is dealing with more mature stuff. When with the Resistance stuff, you're dealing with a lot of more mature, stuff like especially the back half of the first season, starting off this season and everything with more mature, like themes and everything, with like the First Order starting to take over. You got all these. Them being trapped on like the vessel, for the most part in a so-called prison, and then we get like in that fourth episode, sort of like a kiddish thing with like the puppy dog or whatever.
Puggles.
Puggles and stuff. I guess Filoni has that, have that. But in relation to like the Bad Batch, a lot of the complaints that we got like last season about them, going back and forth from like the mature stuff to like, more like the cartoony type stuff. Is Star Wars trying to figure out what way it wants to go and what way it wants to be and everything, I guess we remember, George Lucas talking about, Star Wars for kids, but you bring on this element of the politics and everything, and it really takes the kid element right out of it.
Right.
As soon as you introduce like stuff in like the prequel trilogy and stuff, I mean, we've been getting a lot, especially with these animated shows, a lot more of the politics interspersed with like the hijinks and stuff. Maybe Kaz dealing with like idiot type stuff, and although he's gotten a lot more mature, but we've been dealing with like a variety of different stuff, and sometimes it may seem like it's all over the place, but and other times I think it feeds like, T Mitch, it feeds some of our stuff, but then it sort of builds off into a thing. Okay, well, yeah, this is a kid's show.
Well, isn't that why it's great? Isn't that why this story is great? I mean, let's just say Star Wars.
That it could cater to everybody? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's accessible to everybody.
And kids can see. They like the characters. Maybe my kid likes the stormtroopers. He likes the fact they can't shoot. They can't hit the broad shot side of a barn. The politics part, I don't think kids get, like you're alluding to, DP. They don't get the big kind of the underbelly. And that was what the prequel was introducing all of us to, was why A New Hope happened.
Right.
Yeah.
And what went together. But I mean, if you sit down with your kid and you say, hey, so here's the Republic and here's the Empire and there's this thing, and look at the news, because the stuff that is happening right now is what is the catalyst that made Star Wars happen. Is you have to have like these giant, you have to have people with tyrants, tyranny. You have to have that, and then you have to have like common folk, whatever, just the regular people just trying to do their thing. Like we have like the Colossus, in our Resistance series. The Colossus is like a perfect example of just a village, trying to live, coexist with all this crap. And I think it's interesting that now they're separate, like they're just on their own, like floating. They've hyperspace jumped to nowhere, basically, and now they have to like figure it out. They don't have fuel, they don't have drinks, they don't have food. They don't have
That's
anything.
that's a really interesting elements that they got introduced. And like I said, the more mature type, okay, they got to figure out a lot of life stuff, things that kids that, okay, maybe they're not really understanding, but us as adults, we're like, wow, okay, they're dealing with this type thing here.
And that's heavy. Like
That is
Captain Doza's got a big job in front of him, because now he has to take this town, this village, and he has to basically sustain them, and he makes that commitment. And remember, this is the guy with the Imperial officer uniform fresh and pressed in his closet.
Yeah,
Like he ain't throwing that away. So we know he can see both sides of this table. He sees what the Empire was. He was part of it. Now he sees this new thing. And I think we talked about it, like, we're at the Resistance. The Resistance is not a rebellion yet, because it hasn't really sunk its teeth into the First Order. So it's really just this like resistance. It's not a rebellion yet. So we still don't know where that's going to like fall. And we've got like players that are really showing themselves. Tam, what's her deal? Like,
right. Come on now.
Oh, you don't like her. I don't know. I think she's going to be a mole.
She's
small.
Yeah,
Conflicted what? Conflicted what? These people just committed a huge genocide against like the duly elected government, legitimate government, and she's just like, okay, what's really important is that my friends lied to me about their motivations, so I'm gonna join the genocidal side project, right? I'm gonna join up with that.
That's
like this
happened,
is
dude.
after they publicly declared this.
It's not that black and white Steel City.
Yeah, it's not. It's not. It really isn't.
Was it black and white when the Empire blew up Alderaan? I think it was. And we're talking about after that. This is after that. They were public about it. They published that speech he gave before they blew them all up.
You have to read the marketing campaign behind that. Alderaan was full of conspirators, and they were plotting against the Galactic Empire, which was trying to bring peace to the galaxy.
Sometimes I wonder if Palpatine isn't your dad, Ken. I wonder. Secretly.
To Ken's point, Tam bought into like a lot of the propaganda and agenda and stuff. So they spread all that out through the first season. So by the time she used the excuse of, well, my friends lied to me and everything, it gave her a good reason, on her, at least to her, to join like the First Order and everything,
And what is she now? She's now a pilot. She's got the nice uniform, nice shiny black helmet with oxygen respirators. I mean, I want one of those. There's gonna be a Black Series helmet on that. I think I'm gonna have to pre-order it. But anyway, I mean, she's definitely got like a backstory, which I get. I think that she had been done wrong by the Republic at some point in her life. So this is the right choice for her.
How about the red flag when she tried to she saved her, the co-pilot and everything, and the First Order lady was like, no, you did wrong. That's not what you were supposed to do. Just let him go and let him be.
Let him die.
It almost feels like they're trying to both sides of this stuff, and it's really bugging me, and I hate it. Like I don't want to see how these people are trained. She's gonna get brain scraped. Like they're gonna scrape her brain. That's what's gonna happen. That's what's at the end of the road here.
I think that what's her name? Tyranny, Tyranny.
Whatever it's like it. Yeah.
Her mentor. I think she's gonna keep her, because she even said, she told Captain Pry.
Pyre, I think, right? Pyre.
Yeah, that the gold guy, whatever. That she is important the way she is.
He's prestiged.
Well, anyway, that guy's up for execution anyway. Captain Phasma's going to chop his head off and throw him in the dumpster anyway.
Is she alive still, or is this after episode 8? This is my question, because they go into this dreadnought.
This is all before 7. All of
it. This is not them showing up at the aftermath of that battle that's at the very beginning of 8.
No, right. That's what I was
thinking.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, because we're not going to see any more of Poe and at all. Should be right.
No, Poe went after as we talked about, he's actually like, well, I don't this buds up to 7. Like this season's like the start, so it's a weird time frame because yeah, Poe should be like with Ray at this point,
But
right? This is
like his said, the debris and everything we see in the air that happened in what that happened. Didn't that happen in 7?
it
8
could
is
be
when
at the-
Dala when she
could be
blows
at
up
the-
the
Oh, yeah,
dreadnought
8,
by
8.
the hyperspace maneuver, right?
Yeah.
Which you'd think they'd be like, whoa, like what happened here? Like it would just be some insane, like incredible thing that this enormous ship is destroyed. So I don't really, they're unclear about how this synchronizes with the actual movies, right? Obviously, this because we have the one event that is certainly episode 7, so we know literally that is taking place at the same time as episode 7. But I think what is a little unclear is how much time is there between 7 and 8, and how much time are we experiencing here for them to run out of food, which you would think would take at least a couple weeks to a month or something like that. It just takes some time to run down your reserves.
Not the way they were going through it.
I mean, they're all pirates. What do you expect them to do? But you know, Ken, you brought up some interesting stuff, which is Tamara is getting exactly what she believes she's entitled to now. And those things, and I'm just going to put it like this, are when you receive something of your own personal benefit at the expense of morality, it is called a bribe. And what Tam loves is a bribe. She just loves a good bribe. Oh, I'll make you a pilot because you want to be a pilot, right? I'll give you what you want. I will fulfill your wish, and that will make you loyal to me. That is the definition of what is called a quid pro quo relationship. In terms of interpersonal relationships, as I'm sure we all know, because we've all taken the same trainings over the years, that would be called harassment in the sense that you can't do those things. You can't say, if you do this, I'll do that. That's wrong.
Only by our standards in this world that we're talking about, this is how it works.
We assume that they're past all that just because they have xenospecies and stuff like that. But the way what I mean by all this is that Tam has been bribed and bought off, and it's just weird that she was bought off so cheaply, and it makes me not hope that she redeems herself at all. Like it makes me really not like anything about being involved with the First Order or seeing them or their weird, addition by subtraction philosophy that they're lining out for me here. Like that's going to be like that's attractive or something. I'm not saying that I don't want to see where they're going with this with Tam training with the First Order. I guess I'm saying that I like this character has already made so many wrong choices and is already acting in their own personal interests, and that makes me not think that a redemption storyline would be natural in this case, right? I guess that's what I'm saying.
So to your point, Hitch, I totally agree. If they're going to commit Tam to be in a First Order, make her commit. Don't try to do this like side whining. Okay, well, she's this, but she still cares. If she had let like the other pilot just go, then okay, Tam is committed to like the dark side or to like the First Order and everything. So don't necessarily, if you're gonna go all the way and everything. We had this tropey type. Okay, well, they're half in, half out. Now they're being an anti-hero. They're like going to be like a spy or something within like the First Order. No, just have her just be and actually have us look at the character and see where she came from and see the reasons why she ended up being that way.
Mm-hmm.
This whole they throw this anti-hero like shit around way too much. Like it's like the flavor of the month.
Yeah,
like everybody's like this anti-hero. Like you're good, but you're bad, but you have good intentions. Like, bro, no, stop.
Yeah,
that's like you sparingly. It's like
hold on. Hit. I mean, T. Mitch. You know what they are. You know what they do.
They blow up planets. They put it on TV. They're not hiding it. They don't want you to not know.
TV.
It was on. We watched them watch it on TV. It's like on CBS.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you put it on CBS, if you put something on CBS, everybody over the age of 65 knows about it right away. That's how it is. So these people are not trying to be shy. They're saying, look, you can get on board with the First Order, or
we'll blow up your planet.
Roll the bean footage. You know what I mean?
But the First Order will sell it to you as if they're doing this to protect. Sadly enough, I mean, we get sold that like if Kim was talking about real life and everything, we get sold like a lie every day. you know, about, you know, quote unquote protection and stuff, you know, where it's like, okay, well, you see some things right in your face where you should know, you should have the sense to know, but yet and still you choose to look the other way for what you said, Steel City, for your own, you know, intentions or whatever. Tam loves bribes.
Of course, bribes are what make things run, like on a very high level. I mean, that's what works. That's how it works.
I mean, look, some bribes are great, right? Some bribes are absolutely awesome. Like, for instance, I work in a position where I'm a salesperson, and I am bribed to be very aggressive in prospecting and to be very helpful and to be very good at that.
Is a bribe.
It's a bribe. But here's the thing: I'm not working for I'm not working for a genocidal side project, right? Like, I'm not doing anything that's bad.
You don't know that. You might be because that evil is so far hidden from the front line.
Yeah. You're so far removed from like the corporate, you know, all the hit shell companies. You could just work for a shell company and everything.
I don't think you guys want to start throwing stones on this one, so we can move right along.
I don't think. Yeah, I'm going to stay neutral on this one.
No one's safe. Nobody.
Anyway, my point being that what matters is the hand. How dirty is the hand that's handing you the money, right? That's what matters. And these guys are just, again, put their,
you see the dirt,
political genocide on television.
You see all the dirt, but yet you still want to play in the sand.
Yep.
You see it. Tam
because
sand
can be wiped off. Yep, sand can be wiped off. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. And you know what? I think she's conflicted enough that I think at some point she's going to be a mole and she's going to be a thorn in the First Order side.
But we just saw this on, but they can't keep, like we can't keep doing this. They did this with the guy on Rebels. We've had it with Hux. Like, they just can't keep doing this. Like,
it's almost more like self-interest, actually, in my opinion. It seemed like Hux was just looking to be in charge at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion.
Yeah. Well, his dad was in it. He was in it. You know, he just wanted to he wanted to be something. He wanted to be important somehow.
Imagine you're working all your life, and then like right before you're going to make this big strike, they go out and get a free agent, and it's a Skywalker, and they bring it in. Yep. And you know, and not only is it a Skywalker, it's Han Solo's kid, like, of all things, to run everything, and they're going to be your boss. I can get why that would be terrible.
And his name's Ben. Come on,
Ben.
What an unspace-worthy name.
He seems like he has a short fuse. So I bet it's not easy being his like driver. Like, I bet that's no fun being his like shuttle pilot. Like,
being a driver, huh?
Bro has this.
Go ahead, Steel City. His driver, his chauffeur. You mean he was like the chauffeur?
I just assume someone's driving.
I meant the actor, but you know.
That was. Hey, give him something for that.
Yeah, give him. Yeah, there we go.
and Adam. So who's his Eve? Is that Rey?
Wow.
Lots of questions out there about that.
I mean, they were like, they were lovers, but they weren't. I mean, I wonder how Finn felt, because he felt that in the Force. So I wonder if he was heartbroken.
That's a real good question because Finn seems to have many romantic interests and lots of options to take here in episode 10, and I hope he makes the most out of his free agency. Thank you very much.
Free agency.
And by the way, that character on Rebels was Callus, that we were trying to figure out with the sideburns, Wolverine looking guy.
Oh yeah, Fulcrum.
Oh yeah,
Callus. Yeah, so that was
Callus. Okay, I liked it. I liked him. He was a good character. His turn was very natural, especially when he got into it with what was the Rebels crew name? The blue guy.
Zeb.
Yeah, Zeb. Yeah, especially with him and Zeb like interacted in that cave and everything. I was like, yeah, that's some really good storytelling right there. But this thing with Tam, it seems like it's just recycled stuff that we don't already seen before.
Like she flies, like she does that thing where she rescues the other dude, and then they're like, "What did you do?" She's like, "I just did what I thought was right." And then it's like what she hears is like, "Well, you better freaking stop that." Stop that right now.
The mission comes first. Stop being so nice. I mean, the First Order lady, she was just like, "Oh my goodness."
I don't know.
And they got on her and said, "You're in charge of her." So they got this thing.
What's she doing? Saving our equipment and our expensive to train pilots? Oh no. We don't do that here. We just waste them because we don't care.
That character could be replaced. I mean, that's not she was just I was thinking about that too. Like, who is she? Like, is this going to be a character we're going to have to deal with? Because I didn't like her that much. I mean, she seemed very like, if you can, you do. If you can't, you teach. Kind of thing. Like, I didn't like her personality.
Crosshairs with Robert.
I don't know.
Because Crosshair just wants to follow orders, right? Ken, right?
Well,
yeah,
right?
And you're right. He would he would buy into her all day long. But I didn't like her as
Father
far as
Time had some bad news about Crosshair being, another 80 years old, since he ages 2 times as fast as everybody else. He'd be very decrepit. But that could be interesting, I guess. A very old, almost skeleton-y half-droid Crosshair just running around, still shooting people in the head. I mean, that could be an interesting thing. But probably
that
not.
could be interesting.
But Crosshair is the type of person that you would think would be with the First Order, right? They lost, but they didn't really think the Emperor was wrong. But they know the Emperor lost. So if there was a way to, the Emperor maybe didn't lose and they come back, is that so bad? You know what I mean? I mean, hey, when you think about it, my dad had a pretty decent job. And now I'm here on this colossal space station with all you guys, and you won't let me fly your plane. And these guys seem to be all about letting me fly. So I think I'll just dime you out to the man and I'll snitch. And then later on, maybe I'll realize that was wrong.
Maybe.
Oh, good.
I'll snitch to them after they blew up a bunch of planets. After, again,
Of course,
I have to stress
after.
this. After. So if you're a supporter of some faction, and then they do a terrible thing, and then you continue to support them, that's another moral question that you have to deal with. And
so
I think
Tam is
Tam
no
needs to deal
different
with
from Crosshair, right?
Well, Crosshair is also, I don't know, because Crosshair was willingly stayed and then was manipulated. Then they manipulated him by messing with that chip. So now he's sort of.
He was kind of mind scraped already.
He's been mind scraped a bunch of times.
Yeah,
brain scraped back out there.
Pam is still, and she's still important. And I think they see her as more of an asset, and they're not going to manipulate her. Right.
Doesn't that make it a little worse though? Because he was forcefully reprogrammed, and she willingly is a dumbass.
She's just been bought.
Yeah. We don't know why. We really don't know what her thing is.
The other thing about all of this is after they announce their genocidal side project and they launch it and then they release it.
It's a bad thing.
After they do that and they prove without a doubt that they have murderous intentions against their enemies. I mean, 100%. You cannot pretend they're not going to do that. Well, then she dimes out her friends. That's when she drops a dime on them. Oh, I that character, and maybe this is probably I just don't like betrayal. That's something that bugs me when getting stabbed in the back bugs me, right? So that's why I'm stuck on this, because there's a lot of other pretty cool stuff that happened, including the introduction of coaxium. So we know this was produced after Solo, right? Since that's when they invented that concept in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, and we know about this stuff now. So when we hear it, we're like, oh yeah, because we rode Smuggler's Run many times, and we actually got this stuff. We actually obtained this stuff and brought it back to Honda. So we know what this stuff is. At least I do.
Coaxium.
Wait a minute. So we see who the guy in the hat and everything. What's his name again? So we seen a glimpse of him in the Bad Batch trailer.
Cad Bane.
Yeah, Cad Bane and everything. Okay, all right. So this takes place, obviously, way before Mandalorian, right?
Yeah,
pretty much way before. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because this is like 5 to 10 years post episode 3, I think, is where
Yeah.
the general
This is
time frame
between-
of Bad Batch is.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I noticed a few and stuff in there. Yeah. I mean, you see a lot of parallels between like the Resistance show and then like where we're about to bump up against Bad Batch. Seeing like a lot of darkness stuff in like the Bad Batch trailer that's getting me excited and hyped. Where we were screaming a whole bunch of dark Empire, like Ken said, we want to see more Empire stuff. So hopefully it's not more than 2 fillers there, T Mitch.
Right.
And we'll see just like we'll just
I
get
can
the
give him
meat
2.
potatoes and the thickness.
I don't feel
can-
like this.
I
I don't
can
feel like
give
this
him
is
2.
going to be any filler. I'll bet you.
Come
I'll
on,
bet
Ken,
you
it's
every
Star Wars.
episode is going to be.
We just
thick.
watched a batch that's
Thick,
at least.
on.
I mean, we can admit the whole "we're hunting for meat" episode. Come on, where nothing changes except that I got some meat. That's probably
That-
that's probably a filler episode.
No, that episode was important because it showed
Kids, you're
the-
never going to be Ken. Come on now.
it showed that everyone had to work together because it wasn't just one person. It wasn't just the ace.
Why did it take them so long to figure out like shoot it in the giant mouth? Like why? Like it's literally a giant target in the middle of its like head going.
How would you deal with the situation?
I'd probably shoot at its mouth because it's the one feature that looks like it's distinguishable. So I would imagine, if I'm first of all, if I'm living in the Star Wars universe, I'm looking for obvious weak points. They'd probably flash, because it seems like that's how things work, and that would be what I'd shoot at. But I don't know. Like I'm not saying these guys are stupid for not killing it in the moment when it's attacking them and they're trying to do their squadron practice, right? Like I'm not saying that. But to come back and be like, we're going to try to make it suspenseful that we're shooting the giant stingray. Like, you know what I mean? You should be able to beat a stingray. It's just something you should be able to do, especially if you have ships. It's not like they were just down there without their ships. And then they got out of their ships. Like you can't point a plane up. I don't know. Yeah, that whole
I like
me,
that. I like that creature because at first I thought it was swimming, but then I realized it was actually flying. And I thought, wow, like that was intense. This giant, like you said, like stingray, but it was kind of like a crab, but it sort of had a spider aspect to it. It was actually flying, not swimming. So, I mean, that thing was, and I felt bad for it too, because it was just.
You felt bad for it?
Yeah,
I did.
it was doing its thing. It was just on this like Hoth planet, existing, doing what it had to do. And all of a sudden, here comes these jackwagons that it was just it was being interfered with. Now I'm like starting to feel like Avatar here because it's like we get this whole vibe of humans or humanoids inflicting their rage or whatever they are doing on nature, and then like just like destroying everything, just like mining. You're digging too deep. Now you release these like dragons, and now this like poor stingray monster thing is like food. I mean, think about it. How terrible is that?
So you just basically described a 6-hour version of Fern Gully. Thanks, James Cameron. Thank you, James Cameron. And then we have another 3 to go. We're another 6, right? Another 2 more.
They really sold me on that with those two things. I was like,
There's 2 more avatars, right? Left.
Oh,
Those
at
are
least.
trilogy.
No, they'll be making those until the Earth crashes into the sun, and they make it like $8 billion a piece for some. I don't know who's seen these. It's like nobody
Bro,
I interact with.
I don't. I've never still fully watched it. It's almost. I don't think I fully watched the whole thing. Like, and why?
I haven't seen it. It's
two,
free.
2 was better than 1. I admit I seen it. I took the family.
You admit
You should be honest.
you saw it.
I appreciate it.
Oh man, pleading
crazy.
guilty before the nerd court.
You wasted 3 hours of your kid's life. That's crazy, man.
It was better than the first one. I mean, it was not bad. It wasn't it doesn't deserve to be like the second highest grade grossing movie of all time. It doesn't deserve that title, but there we go. Here we are. So
Wow. On an interesting side note, I am like super stoked that Tron 3 has started production. Like,
I saw that. Me
if you guys
too.
aren't aware, yeah, like Tron 3 is coming
That's
out.
awesome.
So, bro, that's gonna. I mean, like, I don't know
I'm
how
ready.
anything leads up to.
I am
Legacy.
ready
I don't
for
know.
that.
I don't know how anything can top Legacy, but yeah, and they have the premise of basically we all knew what's gonna happen, right?
It,
The escapes into the human world, right? So.
They only
Yeah,
did
and-
2 Tron movies, right?
Correct. There's the original Tron and Tron Legacy. Now, the Tron 3 is about basically one of the AIs escaping into the real world, which we've seen in other movies. But yeah, we'll see how they do, how Disney does their take on Tron.
Yep, we've seen it in movies.
Right.
Movies, not real world yet.
Yeah.
Or have we?
Yeah.
Anyway, we won't know when it happens. So
Yeah. So we'll see when this movie comes out. Hopefully, I'm guessing probably a 2025 release, which, as we know, will change the slate of some of our projects. Which, man, there's a lot. I mean, this Bad Batch kind of came out of left field because we were talking about it, right? And I didn't think it would be out literally in less than a month. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
Awesome.
I was thinking
Can't
this is
wait.
like fall, like summer type release. I mean, where the hell still is, the Sith show? Like, it's been done for 4 months. Where's that at? I guess we're just sitting on that. It's like wrapped up production, post production, like it's literally done.
Skeleton Crew is pretty much done too, right?
Yeah.
that's going to be this year. It's like August,
Yeah.
I think.
So,
Yeah,
I
we got a
mean,
lot.
are we gonna wait until what? Star Wars. I mean, are we gonna wait till May the 4th to get this, or when are we gonna start doing some release dates? I mean, that, like I said, the Bad Batch stuff kind of came out of left field. They just
I think
kinda
that's.
dropped it.
I think it's fine that they don't give us any notice, and the reason is, I've said it before. What I'm looking for is some diversity in what Star Wars is offering me. So if it was every other Thursday there's going to be a new thing. It's either going to be an hour and a half an hour, and we're going to tell you literally when it starts, and then you'll know what the next thing is, and we're just going to advance that story. I'd be fine if they did that. So springing a new season of Bad Batch on me is not. It's fine. I like that a lot. I think that's cool.
That's not throwing you, is it?
No, I'm going to be there for every single episode, even the ones that Jar Jar Binks is in for some reason, even though he doesn't belong in that group or in that timeline. Jar Jar Binks will be in on these cartoons for some reason, and that will be one of the. Ooh, you know what, guys? We should do an over/under on filler episodes for the season, and then debate
We should.
as the season goes on.
I'm sticking with 2 with 15. I'm going to go with 2, a solid 2 over. So we can do over under 2 for the listeners. So we'll put the poll on the Facebook group as well. What is the over under on filler? I say 2 isn't for 15. 2 is a good number.
Oh, I'll take over.
I don't think
over 2.
You
think
bet
over
you'll be
2?
surprised.
Oh.
I don't think there's going to be any.
I'm going to go with hits. I'm going to go over 2. I'm going to do the over. There's no way it's under.
We know Ken's gonna be under because he'll be arguing against every single one of these being a full episode.
Come on, bro.
It's okay though.
Yeah, we gotta have the light balance of light in the dark because that's what Star Wars is.
I think 2 would be
now,
fine. You show what's going on with some of the clones. No one knows what they're doing. Maybe they're fly fishing.
But for 15 episodes, there's definitely over 2. There's definitely over 2. They can't. I mean, they're not going to do that for us, right? Come on now. They're just not going to do it for us like that. It's going to be over 2. So that's a great.
Like one of those. It's like one of those Sopranos episodes where Tony and Carmela break up. Like it's coming back. It's over and over. They're the endless cycle. Those two. Oh, I guess not endless, right?
Never not. Yeah, we all know the ending of how that ends. But, much like we kind of. I mean, the cool thing about this is we know how this leads into it, but we don't know the ending, right? A lot of the series is with Andor. We know how that ends, right? We knew how Rogue One, Ken's favorite movie. He's probably seen that more times than I've probably seen. I don't know. What's the most watched movie I've ever watched? That's a good question. And then maybe that's another thing to pose in the chat. What is everybody's most watched movie? Because I don't remember. I kind of lost
movie or Star Wars movie?
In general, like maybe most watched movie. I'm starting to forget.
I racked up some serious Empire Strikes Back views in college. But yeah, that's the other one.
Tron Legacy, a lot. If we're talking overall, maybe
so many times. So many times.
What do you guys think? Like for me, my most embarrassing high one is probably Sergeant Bilko with Steve Martin from the 90s. I must have seen that. I don't know why. I had it on VHS and I must have watched it like 3 times a week when I was in high school. So that's probably like bizarrely number 3 on my list, and I would have to answer some questions about that.
I'm a liar. I watched Transformers movie like 15 million times.
15 million?
Yeah. I've at one point I was counting the times I rewatched that movie. It's embedded in my soul. I've watched that movie so many times.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a shameless plug, man. I'm not gonna lie. We talk about this. That last Transformers, man, was good. Like, I'm invested in that with the whole GI Joe ending and everything, bro. Spoiler alert if you didn't see it. Yeah, bro, I'm invested in Transformers. I like them. I know there's a lot of the explosion shit's corny, it's a Michael Bay thing, but they got me back on side. I don't, maybe it's the characters, it's not the greatest thing, but the characters draw me in. So yeah, I thought
You might have to do a separate NCFS for this one.
Come on,
every
really?
one for the Transformers.
Come on, no Shia, no Shia LaBeouf. We're on what are we on 10? Hey, you're gonna do that reaction, but we're talking about Fast and Furious. Come on now.
Who made Fast and Furious?
I talk smack on Fast and Furious. I talk smack on Fast all day.
Don't. You can't go there.
That might be the world's.
Dom Toretto might be the dumbest character in the history of cinema and Back to the Future.
You can't say anything bad about it. Forget it. It's got everything. It's got cars. It has.
I finally crossed the line.
People. Nope.
He's up there. I mean, they're up there with Saw, bro. We're on 10 Saws, 10 Fast and Furious. Who's going to get to the finish line first?
Right.
Has the Saw guy moved to different cities, or is it like everybody's in like Newark? And like he just every year, like 5 people disappear.
Flashback in the
10 takes
movie,
place. Yeah, 10 takes place in Mexico. Yeah. So 10 takes place in Mexico. We get a new scene. It's almost like Resident Evil when they did the Resident Evil when they went to like Mexico. So yeah, we get the little. Yeah.
You're probably wondering why you're here. You're like the worst person I could find in the hospital where I'm dying of cancer.
Bro, literally, that's like one of the lines. Seriously, it's crazy. He kind of says that.
I love Saw, man.
Boy, I do.
Every year they put, they were pretty good. They put out a Saw like every year, for
it's
like
so
5 or 6 years.
Cool. Like I like it. It's like gruesomely like this stuff.
Saw got me, and those shows. I think Saw is great because it'll tell you what are you actually afraid of. And for me, the thing that really made me tap out on Saw as a series is I think it's in 2 where they fall into the thing of rusty needles, and I was just like, that's that. Yeah, like I'm just not going to do any more of these.
That's
bro. It's so gory. Like all the traps are just like, yo, like whoever like does this, I'm like, bro, how demented are you? Like the right things and like, you know what I mean? Like
I always like the reverse bear trap.
Oh yeah.
Love that.
We need some of these weapons, and we need some of this in Star Wars. We need a little bit of this, like we know in these torture rooms. Think about it. We saw it in Andor. Like they could have put one of those in there, right? When they had her,
we have the mind scrape. Like, what is that?
But we need to show them like opening the skull, like Saw.
Mind scrape. That would be a hell of a. That's an Andor episode waiting to happen.
Well, they did it to her. Like she was like destroyed. I can't wait for season 2 to come out. Like her mind is like we have to because we don't really see a person after.
You're right. Yeah,
they mind scraped her, so she is like a broken person. So we're going to see like how somebody comes back from like this whole whatever. You know what I mean? This mind scrape. She's like in tatters when we seen her. I mean, they're dragging her out. Like she's kind of gone. So we'll see how her psyche is for Andor season 2, which is another thing. I mean, there's. For our listeners out there, we have so many great things to talk about this year. It's great, we talk about like even with this writer's strike, this it's crazy, right? We talked about the writer's strike. We talked about like, man, we might have to think do some more fan fictions. Boom, Bad Batch lands. I'm sure they're going to drop that Sith series. I mean, this might be our busiest year, and this talk about every year like it's getting busier and busier.
We did a lot of shows. We probably did 40 shows last year too. Like we did a lot of shows.
Oh, think about it. We had back-to-back shows when we had what? Didn't we do Mandalorian and something else was on simultaneously? We had simultaneous shows.
It was Bad Batch. Bad Batch.
We did them both.
Yeah. So I mean, geez, like
committed.
We are. Commit is 2024.
We'd have stopped way before now if we weren't, or if someone
Yeah.
did commit us.
Right. I mean, we haven't been shut down yet. We haven't got a we haven't got a
So
cease
we
and
haven't
desist
got
letter
Mickey
from-
Mouse hasn't shut us down yet.
We haven't got a cease and desist, at least to my knowledge. I haven't. So you guys got DP has his hashtag on there. So if anybody's getting contacted first, I'll find him. Like,
Yeah, they're
like,
searching for tittymitch.com. That doesn't exist. What's that
Good
URL?
luck, yeah.
You know?
Good luck.
That's
you
not
know?
even a thing.
No. So
Mickey
No.
Mouse will just appropriate our contact for. They'll just use AI and our voices and hours and hours and hours of our voices on
Right.
YouTube to make it sound like all we talk about is you should just go to Disney Parks. Disney Parks,
Yeah.
it's really great.
Yeah.
We'll just- every
Yeah,
single
right.
episode.
right. Oh, they edited our stuff. I mean, well, I guess if you guys check the Nurse Cyclopedia inbox, we might have a nice little letter in there tomorrow. So we'll see. Right?
Ooh.
How crazy would that be? Like, for real. We'd have to post that online. But,
Oh yeah, read it on air. Yeah,
Might as well, right?
I think it went in the spam folder.
Bro, once it hits that, we're already dead, right? You're a dead man walking.
As soon as we said Star Wars, it was over. So
We got tied back in the salt. We already got the shackle around our ankle. We're about to play the recorder. Like it's already over, bro.
in life, you were a doctor that did a crappy job. What, you do a crappy job cutting off your own foot? See you soon. Like,
Yeah, right. And they only get like 5 minutes, bro. Come on now. Could you give them 10?
why only give them 10 minutes? The
Yeah.
trick is to give them lots of time to think about their inescapable death scenario.
Right. No, but guys, it's been another great episode. And leading into next week, we'll do episodes 5 through 8. So hopefully there will be no filler through 5 through 8.
No filler.
Hopefully not.
I would say, if I were to, just as practice for Bad Batch, say how many filler episodes were in this set of 4, I would say 1.
I think that's fair. So if we do 1 a quarter, that's 4 episodes. There's like 20 episodes.
Yeah,
we're fine.
you're doing good. Yeah.
So that puts it, that would, if you adjust it back for 15 or 16, that's
25%.
3. So 2, I think we're in the right neighborhood.
We are. So I guess that's the secret for this week, guys. Let us know what you think will be the filler episode of 5 through 8, and we'll come back to discuss that. But until next week, guys, this is the way.
This is the way.